All right, today we're going to focus on what I've been focusing all week, which is a lot of grounding. I feel like as this time kind of gets further along, it's just more important to come back to the essence of yoga and the foundation of yoga, which is standing poses. It's also the first week of the month, so we'll work on that sense of foundation and grounding, which is very calming for the nervous system and keeps us focused and helps regulate the mind. And I don't know about you, but I can use a lot of that these days. So let's sit up tall. We'll also end with a short meditation. And so all of this practice will sort of build up towards focusing the mind and steadying the mind so we can move along our day with a little more calm. All right, so let's sit up tall. You can sit up on a blanket or a block. Find a comfortable seated position. And take some time to close the eyes and just to settle in, to find your place today on the mat. And sort of, I find my yoga mat to be a life raft of sorts. And it's a way to just, once I come to the mat, it's this memory of all of my years of practice. So I invite you to do the same. Just bring in all those memories of your yoga classes and your practice where you felt calm and steady and complete and perfect. Even if it didn't last, just come back to that sensation, that feeling of steadiness, of calmness, of the fact that we always have our breath to come back to. We always have this moment to come back to, even if the future is completely uncertain. So check in with the breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Watch that you're not leaning forward, so we want to bring some of the weight back into the sitting bones. So you feel these sitting bones rooting into the ground. And also notice if the head is sticking forward, we want to settle back, as if the brain is moving back in the skull towards the back of the head. And then focus on the exhalation. And just extend the exhalation, make it a little longer than your inhale. A few more breaths like this, just making your exhalations a little longer than your inhalation. Let's bring the hands on the outside of the ears. We'll inhale here, and as you exhale, we'll gather the mind. We'll collect our thoughts. So gathering up everything that's going on in the mind, all the worries, concerns, expectations. Bring the palms together at the third eye. Inhale here. And as you exhale, just offer the mind for the next hour, 15 minutes or so. Offer the mind to the heart. And 2 more times. So we're offering the mind to the heart. Take a moment to connect with your heart. And just ask yourself, what is it that I'm longing for today? Maybe it's a little more calm, or a little more peace, or a little more control, or a little more love. Whatever it is, just connect with what it is you're longing for. Set an intention for your practice. And acknowledge into the heart. Lift the chin up. Release the hands. And open the eyes slowly. Roll the shoulders back and down a few times. Warming up the neck and shoulders. And we're going to twist to the right side. So take the left hand on the outside of the right knee and the right fingertips behind the back. And you want to be on your fingertips like they're a little spider. So you're pushing the fingertips into the ground and lifting the chest. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Hold for a few breaths. Exhale, draw the navel back towards the spine and gently twist. Keep the chin in line with the chest. So you're not twisting from the neck, but rather from the spine. And then to the other side. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale, gently twist to the left. Drawing the belly button back towards the spine as you twist. On the inhalation, lengthen through the crown. On the exhalation, twist. Good. Let's move the 1 breath per movement. So twist to the right, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Left side, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. To the right, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And to the left. Good. Come forward, take the legs out in front for Dandasana. So we're going to press the center of the heels down into the ground. And take your thighs, take your legs, and actually roll your thighs inwards. So you're taking the skin of the inner thighs and rolling them inward. So you feel this internal rotation of the thighs. And then push through the big toe mounds, rest the fingertips next to the hips, push down and lift the chest, Dandasana. So you want to energize the legs. Energize the legs. Good. Press the center of the heels down, push the big toe mounds forward. This is Tadasana legs. We want the knees moving up into the thighs, the quads active, the inner thighs rolling down, and then the shoulder blades drop down away from the ears. Hold here, and then bring the lower ribs back just a little bit to take any pressure off the low back. So we're lengthening the spine as well. Relax for a moment. Notice that when you relax, the shoulders like to slouch, the legs like to roll out. And then come back, take your hands under your sitting bones, pull the flesh of the buttocks back a little bit. Take the hands on the thighs, roll the inner thighs down a little bit. Press the center of the heels into the ground, push the big toe mounds forward, lift the chest. And then move the shoulder blades forward into the body, into the upper back, but bring the rib cage back. So the shoulder blades, the scapula move forward, the rib cage moves back, we open the chest, we lift the chest. Energize the legs. Now if that feels okay on your low back, you can take your arms up and reach. And hold. Keep pushing the sitting bones down to lengthen the back. And reach up through the pinky fingers, but relax the neck muscles. And then release down. Let's lie on the back. You can use your blanket if you'd like for your head. You can put some head support. Take your right leg up for Supta Paramukshasana. We're going to do a few variations before we move into standing poses. So lie on the back. Rest your head. Take your right leg up with your strap. And left leg out in front. And here, let's bring our elbows down to the floor. So our elbows are going to come onto the ground a little bit away from the body. Push out through the left heel and push the elbows, shoulders down. So we're opening the chest. So your elbows are pressing down, your shoulders are pressing down. The heel of the foot is pressing up. Energize both legs. And your bottom leg, your left leg, should actually be like Dandasana. You should roll the left inner thigh down and push out through the left big toe mount. Strong, strong legs. Okay, we're going to need this activation in the legs for some of our postures that we're going to move into later. Open the hamstrings. And then release that. Take the left leg up, take the right leg out. And push out through the right inner heel, right big toe mound. Up towards the sky, push the elbows down into the ground, lift the chest. So we're not lifting the low back, but rather we're lifting the chest, the upper back. I'll take a few deep breaths here. Good. Then release that. Take the right leg up again. Elbows down, left leg out. Press the elbows into the earth, lift up. Now you're going to reach with the left hand. You're going to hold the strap with the left hand. And with your right hand, you're going to make a C shape with the hand. And you'll take your right hand into the hip crease. So your thumb is on the inside, and you're going to push your hip crease. Push your thigh bone away from your head. So you want to create some traction in the hip. And then bring the leg across the body. Just a little bit. So the right heel lines up with the left shoulder. Okay, we're opening the outer hips now. Inhale and exhale. Couple more breaths. Again, focus on the exhale. Keep the legs engaged. The legs are working. The breath is soft. The neck and shoulders are relaxed. Come up. Switch legs. Take the left leg up. Hold the strap with the right hand. Take the left hand in the hip crease. Push the hip away from the head. So you're really getting your thumb in this crease, and it's like you're moving the flesh of your thigh bone away from the head. So we're creating traction in the low back and in the hip, and then bring the leg across the body. Push out through the right heel. Shoulder down towards the ground, and breathe. You want to feel a nice opening through the outer thigh, IT band, external rotators of the hip. And then come up slowly. Okay, now if you have a blanket, you can take the blanket, and if you don't need one for your head, you can take it on the outside of the hip. I'll show you on this side so you can see. So I'll start with my left leg, and the blanket will just be here patting the outer hip. So I'm going to start with the left leg just so you can see better. We'll hold this strap in the left hand, and the blanket is here so that it supports the outer hip. My right hand will be on my right pelvis, my right ASIS. Inhale. And as you exhale, open the leg out to the side, keep going, and don't let the hips tip over. So we want to keep the right pelvis down, energize the left leg, and open out to the side. Parshva Parambushasana. Now here, look at your left foot and make sure that your toes are not pointing down towards the floor. So we want the outer edge of the foot parallel to the floor. And then push through the right heel, push through the left heel, open the chest. Belly in and back. Open up the front of the pelvis. And then on the exhalation, draw the belly button towards the spine and use your stomach muscles to lift the leg up. So keep your legs straight. So now we'll take the blanket and move it over to the right side. So it's just supporting the hip. It's not underneath the hip or the buttock. The right leg comes up. The left hand now will come on the left ASIS, the frontal hip bone. You can feel this little bone popping out. And take your hand on that and keep the pelvis stable. And as you lower down, we're also thinking about the pelvis moving to the left. So we're going to go slow. Little support for the pelvis to help it stay level so there's no tension in the hip. And then push out through the heel. Look at your right foot. Make sure the outer edge of the foot is parallel to the floor. And then you're energizing your quads. Move your thigh bone away from your head. Move the left hip down. Open the chest. Relax the neck. Relax the breath. Both legs are active. Say good morning to your inner thighs, your adductors. And on the exhalation, draw the belly in and come up. Good. Let's release that. Roll over to one side and come up. And let's take that blanket, okay, hold up the blanket and put it towards the back of your mat. You're going to come into downward facing dog. First come into child's pose, so you measure. The hands come forward, you sit back on the heels, and then you come up. And as you come up, we're going to come on the tippy toes. We're not quite bringing the heels down yet, so I want you to lift your heels in the air and lengthen the spine. Lengthen the spine. Focus on the length. Focus on the strength in the legs. Lift up, and then what you'll do is you'll slowly peel your heels back and down towards the blanket. It's okay if it doesn't touch. Some of us might need 2 blankets, 3 blankets, a bolster. But we're going to try to bring the heels towards the bolster so we can push down. But when we push down, we don't want to lose the lifting up of the outer hips. Okay, so don't let the hips drop. Lift the sitting bones up first. And then push the heels down, stretching the whole sole of the foot. Couple more breaths here. Feeling the backs of the legs. Good. Come forward, child's pose. Sit back, walk the hands forward and rest the forehead on the floor. Take a few deep breaths. Walk your hands to the right side, left hand on top of the right. Sit over onto the left heel. Breathe into the left rib cage. And then walk the hands over to the left side, just opening up the sideways. Come back to center. And again, come onto all fours, spread your fingers wide, and make sure you're pressing the index finger mound into the ground. So all index finger mounds, or all finger mounds rather, should come into the ground. Lift the hips up. Come on the tippy toes so you get that sense of lengthening from the groin up towards the sky. Keep the legs strong. And then without bending the knees, bring the heels back. Heels back and down. Heels back and down. So the heels go down, but the sitting bones go up. Think about the hamstrings lengthening from the back of the knee up towards the sitting bone, and from the back of the knee down towards the heel. Pushing the heels into the ground. And then come forward. Take your blanket or towel. We're just going to rest our left knee on the blanket and right knee will come forward. We're warming up the hips. This is a really nice hip sequence. It's good for low back issues. Just warming up the psoas, the hip flexors, which we'll need. We're going to come into some strong balancing poses. So you're going to push your right foot down into the ground, push the left knee and shin bone down into the ground. Just roll the shoulders back, open the chest, and as you exhale, lift the lower belly. So you want to feel like you're zipping your pubic bone up towards your navel. You should feel a lot more opening in front of that left hip. And if that feels okay, we can take the arms up. Watch that you're not overarching your back. You want to keep your arms in line with your ears. There is a little arch in your low back, but you want to contain that and lengthen it by lifting the belly. So it's not about going deeper into a back bend, but rather about opening the front of the hips. Again, push the feet down, lift up. And relax the hands down. Step the right leg back, step the left leg forward, hands on the waist. Push the left foot down, push the right foot down. Squeeze the elbows in. Open the chest. Elbows squeeze towards one another, but watch that you're not dumping into your low back. Okay, that's a common mistake here that we do often. Push the feet into the ground, lift the belly. Lift the belly. Feel the tailbone heavy. And we're not trying to tuck anything. We're just allowing the tailbone to drop towards the floor as we lift the belly. So there's length in the low back. And then take the arms up. So reach to the fingertips, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Take a few deep breaths. Every time you exhale, draw that belly in and up. Feeling a nice stretch to the front of the right hip. Take your time here. And then come back into your downward dog. You can use your blanket under your heels again, or if you don't need it, you can move it aside. Downward facing dog. Come onto the tippy toes. Lift the heels up. Draw the heels back and bring them down towards the floor, but keep the sitting bones lifting. Spread the fingers wide. Spread the shoulder blades wide. Feel the backs of the legs opening, the inner groin softening, belly lifting. Good. Now if you want to go further, you can either take the right leg up. If that's enough for you, you can come into child's pose. We're going to lift the right leg up and point the toes down towards the floor. So don't let the hips open. You want to keep the right toes right knee down and bring your left heel down as you lift your right leg up. Okay? This is too much stretch. It's okay to bend the back knee. If you can, try to bring your left heel towards the floor and then bring your right leg all the way through. If you need to help your leg forward, that's okay too. And come into a lunge position. So we'll take the arms up. And the concept here is the same as if the knee is supported. So if this is too much, again, you can always take this variation. Your knee can be on the ground. Okay, this is a little more intense. Works on more balance, more strength. Reach the fingers up, soften the neck muscles, lift the belly. Lower ribs back, shoulder blades forward. Lower ribs back, shoulder blades in. And then come down, downward facing dog. Again, you can come into child's pose. Lift the heels up, bring the heels back and down, lift the sitting bones up, open up the backs of the legs. Lots of hamstring work today. Left leg will come up, push the right heel down, left leg up. And then don't let the hip open. It wants to open out to the side, but you want to keep it level. Toes down, and then bring the leg all the way through, if you can. Open the chest here. Push the left foot down, push the right foot down, and come into warrior one variation or a lunge. Come down a little bit lower, reach up. Now slow the breathing down. And we want to calm the breathing down here. On the exhale, lifting the belly. Start to straighten the thigh. Take the right thigh up towards the sky. And then bring the hands down and come into child's pose. Take the knees wide. Walk the fingertips forward. Now, even though we're in child's pose, your arms are still very active here. So you want to keep your triceps lifted. Lift those triceps. Spread your shoulder blades wide on your back as you sit back towards your heels. Good. And then walk the hands back. Well, let's come up to standing. Now, if you have a block, you can use a block. If you don't, you can use a blanket. Take the blanket and roll it up, or a towel. Towel works also. Okay, make a little blanket roll. You can put it between your legs, like so. I'm going to use a block, so I'll take the block between the legs. If you have a long block, you can have it lengthwise. Tadasana. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Feet are going to press firmly into the ground, all four corners. And my tendency is to lean forward, kind of like downhill skiing, right? So what you want to do is you want to shift some weight back into the heels. Okay, so the ears are in line with the shoulders, in line with the hips, center of the hip, in line with the outer ankle. And then roll the shoulders down and lift the chest. Find a quiet place where there's not a lot of work here. The spine should be nice and quiet. Inhale, as you exhale, draw the belly in and up. Zipping it up. Feel the yielding of the feet into the earth. And from that downward pressure, that's where we lengthen. So fine-tuning our mountain pose. Again, feeling that the rib cage goes back, but the shoulder blades move in. So there's a lift in the chest, but without dumping into the low back. See if you can feel that. A couple more breaths here. And then let's release. And here's, if you have two blocks, you can use two blocks or a chair, okay? So two blocks, we're gonna take Parsvottanasana prep. Right leg comes forward, left leg back. Hands will come on the block. Our goal here is to open the chest. Keep the chest nice and open. If you don't have two blocks, you can use a chair. Hands can come on the chair. Okay, so I'll use the chair. The hands should be underneath the shoulders. You're going to roll the shoulders back. Take the heart forward. Take a few deep breaths. Belly back towards the spine. Shoulders back. Chest forward. Now, if you're not feeling a lot, you should come down lower on blocks, or some of us might be able to have our hands on the floor, and then switch legs. Left leg forward, right leg back. So the legs are the same as in Tadasana. We're lifting the kneecap, pushing the big toe mound into the ground. The back foot is turned out slightly, and open the chest. With the shoulder blades away from the ears, take the heart forward. And then again, come back to smooth, calm, even breathing, focusing more on the exhale, lengthening your exhalation. And then, if you have a chair, you can use your chair. Hands can come on the chair. And we can take a downward facing dog here. If you have two blocks, you can do the same thing with your hands on blocks. So you can have the two blocks at the front of the mat. The base of the hand on the lower part of the block, and work on bringing your heels down towards the ground. Obviously, if you don't have blocks, you can just have your hands on the ground. So hands on the chair, on blocks, on the ground. The focus is really lifting the hips, but now you can ground your heel a little bit more onto the earth. So try that, ground those heels down. Work the thigh muscles and rotate the inner thighs back slightly. Feel the heels pressing down without collapsing in your ankles. Look at the front of your ankles. There shouldn't be even a little crease in the front of the ankles. Keep the front of the ankles spread wide open. And then walk the feet forward. Okay, we're going to start in tree pose, Vrikshasana. If you need a wall for balance, go ahead and take a wall. You can have your hands against a wall just in case for support. If you want to try it in the middle of the room, shift the weight into the left leg, turn the right toes out, reach for the ankle and bring it all the way up as high as you can into the inner groin. Okay, it doesn't work for all of us, so for some of us we'll have it lower. Okay, but you want to push your foot into your leg, push your leg into your foot, and then lift up. So there's a sense of grounding, pushing the left foot down on the ground, right? Focus on that left foot moving down, and the right foot pushing into the thigh, left thigh pushing into the foot, and a lift through the crown of the head. If that feels okay, take your arms up. If that's challenging, take your hands at the heart. And gaze at a spot in front of you. And I want you to really connect with the feeling of the whole foot pressing firmly into the ground and the hugging in of the foot with the thigh. Just those two things. Hold a little longer. It's okay to fall. Just get back up and then release and switch legs. Okay, balancing poses. Press the right foot down into the ground. Really feel the contact. Don't be in a rush to take the left leg up. You really want to feel that downward pressure through the right foot. Really lift the quadriceps, work the quads, take the left ankle up and in. At any height, just not on the knee, either below the knee or above the knee. And then really feel the connection of your foot down into the ground. Lift the quads, like we did in Tadasana. Lift the chest. Push the foot into the thigh, push the thigh into the foot. And if you want to go further, you can always lift the arms up, gazing down or gazing straight ahead. Watch if the neck muscles are relaxed. Remember that brain energy. We want to move the brain back a little bit towards the back of the skull to soften tension in the face. And then release. And come down. Okay, so we're going to come into Trikonasana. And from Trikonasana, we're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana. So we're going to separate them and then we're going to bring it together. So you're going to take your block. If you have it, if not, your hands can be on a chair as well. Step the legs wide. Turn the left toes in, turn the right toes out. A good way to measure how wide the feet should be is if you take your arms out to the side, okay, and you draw a line from your wrist to your ankle. That's about how wide you need to be. So it's usually a little wider than you think. Okay, so measure wrist to ankles, open the chest. Inhale, shift the hips a little to the left, reach through the right fingertips, and then either bring your hand on the block or your shin bone or your thigh, wherever you land. You want to keep the front leg straight. So you're going to push your foot into the ground, draw the kneecap up, really work the quads, and then push the back outer heel into the ground. So lots of grounding, and then open the chest. So again here, the same principle applies. You don't want to puff the chest out too much. You want to bring the ribs back. But we do want to move the shoulder blades into the body. So can you try those two things? Bringing the rib cage back a little bit, lifting the belly, keeping the spine stable, but opening the chest, left hand on the hip. Reach to the crown of the head. Now push the feet firmly into the ground, come up, and turn the right toes in and turn the left toes out. Place the block behind the left thigh, or left ankle, sorry. Hands on the waist. Again, you can do the measurement. Okay, make sure your legs are wide enough so that you don't take the pose in the low back. And then lengthen, lengthen, reach. I see you guys. Doing good. Lengthen. Pause, keep that left leg straight, then bring the fingertips down, the other hand on the waist. And start to rotate the left chest open towards the side. Soften the rib cage, bring it back, lift the belly, but move the shoulder blades into the body. Roll the left shoulder back, roll the right shoulder back. So there's a subtle chest opening. We're not over opening the low back and the upper back, a nice opening with control. Good, one more breath. And then push the feet into the ground and come up with straight legs. Turn the left toes in and step the feet together. Okay, so now we're gonna do Ardha Chandrasana and then we'll put it together, but we'll do it with the foot on the wall. Okay, so for this variation, if you have a wall, you'll use it. If not, then you'll have no choice but to do it in the middle of the room. We're gonna start with the right leg forward. You basically need to measure, so the right foot is in the center of your yoga mat. And we're gonna bend the right knee, place the block in front of the pinky toe, and then take the left leg up onto the wall. Okay, so we want the left leg supported on the wall. This gives us the ability to really push that left foot into the wall, and then we can take the left arm up. Okay, the right leg should be right underneath the hip joint. Engage the thigh, open the chest, and really push that left foot, especially the left big toe mound, into the wall, and open the chest. If you don't have a wall, you'll have to do it in the middle of the room. You can also rest your foot on the top of a chair or a table or a desk. Hold there. We have support, so we can work for a little longer here. Grounding, reaching, and then bend the knee, hand on the waist, and come down slowly. And feet together. And take a moment just to stand here. I want you to notice if you feel a difference between the right leg and the left leg. Just close the eyes. And a lot about yoga is just taking a moment to feel, wow, what's the effect of this pose? I feel like I have two different legs. One feels a lot more stable, more connection to the ground. I wonder if you have the same experience. Okay, other side. Left leg will be on the ground. You have to measure so that you can get your right leg on the wall with the left leg staying right under the hip. Reach forward, so the block should be in front of your left pinky toe. The right leg up on the wall. The leg should not be higher than the hips, leg in line with the hip. Hand on the waist. Roll the left upper thigh bone out, sitting bone comes forward. Push the right foot into the wall, and maybe then take this right arm up. And as you push your foot into the wall, think about really pushing that foot into the wall. Lift the belly, lengthen the crown of the head, and open the chest. Good. Bring the hand down, bend the knee, and come out slowly. Okay, so now we're going to put it together. If that felt really good, if you have any back issues or balance issues, do this pose again, Ardha Chandrasana on the wall. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'll demonstrate and then we'll do it together. We're going to move from triangle. We're going to bend the knee. Watch first. We're going to step the toes in, place the block in front of the pinky toes, and then come up into Ardha Chandra. Okay, then when we come down, we're going to do the same thing. Go back through the same sequence, and then triangle, and then up. Okay, so let's do it. Right leg forward, left leg back. Measure the stance. Bring the hand down. Don't skip steps here. So one thing you can notice in your mind when you're practicing is that our mind sort of wants to get to the end pose. And we're always in a rush to get to the end or finish. But a lot of the practice is being with what is and being in this moment. So I want you to take the time. Be in the transitions. Hold there for a breath or two. Take the arms out. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hand down. Left hand on the hip. We'll keep the hand on the hip here. Bend the right knee and pause. Okay, this is like Parsva Konasana, side angle pose without the arms. Now lean into the front leg. Step your back toes in a little bit and place your block in front of your pinky toe, okay? So now we step in a little bit more with that left leg. Pause, look at the screen. So you want to rotate your chest open and then straighten the right leg and come up. If that feels okay, you can take your arm up or you can keep your hand on your hip. Push out through the left heel as if you're pushing into a wall, imaginary wall. Hold. Bend the knee, come back down. Pause. Why are we in such a rush? Where do we need to get to? We're all home anyway. And then come up. Step the feet together. Okay, left side. Left leg out. Trikonasana. Bring the block out, the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale. Prepare. Nowhere else to be, just here. Exhale, lengthen. Bring the hand down onto the block. Right hand on the waist. Energize the legs. Rotate the chest open. Bend the knee. Hold. Open the chest more. Rotate the left thigh back into the left forearm. Keep opening the chest. Good. Now shift some weight into that left foot. Step the right toes in. Put the block in line with the left pinky toe, a little bit in front. And then again, turn the chest open because the tendency is to look down here. You want to actually keep the chest rotated, knee pointing in line with the block. And then shift all the way into the left leg and right away come up. And then take the right arm up. Push through the right leg. You really want to make this right leg work. So you're pushing through the big toe mound as if you're pushing into the wall. Open the chest, hold. Okay, and then we'll come down. Bend the knee, rotate the chest open. Triangle pose. Straighten the left leg. Come up, turn the left toes in. Step the feet together. Good. So now we're going to move into Virabhadrasana 1. And then we're going to move into Virabhadrasana 3 variations. So for the first one, if you have a wall behind you, it's a nice way to practice Vira 1 is with the back heel up a wall. And you'll take your right leg forward. Take the right leg forward. Okay? So hands are going to come on the waist. The heel is pressing into the wall. And come down low with the front leg. It's okay to bend the back knee in the beginning so you can really get low so that the front thigh is parallel to the floor. And then you can push your back heel into the wall a little bit so we feel the opening in front of the hips and reach the fingertips up. Reach the fingertips up. Especially the pinky fingers. You want to reach up through the pinky fingers. Remember those ribs. Bring those lower ribs back, shoulder blades forward. Lower ribs back, shoulder blades forward. And then release that side. Step the left leg forward, step the right leg back. Right heel is up the wall, left leg is forward. Hands on the waist. Open the chest. Squeeze the elbows in. Lift the belly. Bend the back knee a little bit. Bring the arms up. And then start to press your back heel into the wall. Back heel into the wall. Feel the front of the right thigh opening. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Good. And then release that and step the right leg forward. Take a downward facing dog. If you'd like, you can use your chair again, or hands on the floor, or hands on blocks, just to soften those groins. The toes can be a little bit turned in, just a slight bit internally rotated. So we lift the hips up and bring the thighs back. Good. And then walk the feet forward and come up. Okay. So we're going to work on Warrior 3 in a couple of different ways. Here are your options. If you have a chair, you can use a chair. We're going to bring the hands on the chair, and you have to measure, where can I keep my left leg under my hip and my right leg up? So what we're working on is trying to keep the hips level here, and moving the shoulders back and taking the chest forward. So this is your first option. The second option, if you're pretty practiced and you have a couple of blocks, you can use 2 blocks. So you can have 2 blocks on the ground, right leg up. The idea again is to drop the right hip and keep this left leg straight. So we want to have that pelvis perfectly level. So most people will do this. We want to roll the right outer hip down and take the chest forward. Okay, a lot of strength in the right leg. Really lift the right thigh up towards the sky. Take the heart forward. Open the chest. Take a few deep breaths here. And then bring the leg down. Hands on the waist and come up slowly. You might want to take a little bit of a back bend here, just moving the tailbone down and opening the chest. And now left leg up. So hands either on your chair, okay, or on your blocks. We're going to take that left leg up, and you want to make sure that the right leg is right under the hip. Okay, so no wide legs. You don't want your leg in front like you're in the splits. You want to keep everything in one line. Roll the shoulders back. Take the heart forward. Push the left foot into the wall and lift the left thigh bone. So you want to draw this left thigh, the head of the femur, up towards the buttocks. Chest open. Drop the left hip. Open the chest. Strong legs. And then bend the right knee, step down, and come up. Good. Now for the next one, let me show you. Either your hands can be on a wall, okay? We're gonna come into half downward dog. And here we're gonna work on lifting the leg up. And as we lift the leg up, you're gonna keep your toes down and your hips square. If you don't have a wall space, you can have your hands on a desk. You can also have your hands on a chair. It also works like this. Okay, where we're just working on lifting. But the goal here is not to let the toes turn out and the hips to tip over. We want to keep everything in one line, which means the right thigh is internally rotating. And then bring it down. We're going to go slow. Put all the weight in the right leg and lift the left leg up. Go slow. So this left inner thigh is rolling up towards the sky. And dropping the left hip down. And then come down. So we're alternating, okay? Inhale. And exhale, come up. It's as if you're pushing into a wall with your top foot. And then back down. Inhale. And exhale, left leg. Inhale, exhale, right leg up. And back down. Inhale. Exhale, left leg up. Let's do 2 more each side. Really good for strengthening the hips, also really good for sacroiliac joint problems, to work on strengthening and stabilizing the pelvis. The last leg off. And down, 1 more each side. Again, watch that your hip's not opening. Because once we stop paying attention, that's the first thing that will happen. So bring the awareness into your practice. Good. And then from here, if your hands are on a chair, you can come into down dog. Stretch out the spine. Do it with the legs a little bit wider than the hips. And take a few deep breaths. You can also do this with your hands on the wall or hands on the floor. Okay, good. And then come up. Okay, next variation. If you have a chair, we'll use the arms of the chair or the back edge of the chair, whatever it's called. If you don't, you can do it without a chair and then no balance in the middle of the room. Okay, or your hands can be on the wall, or you can take any of the variations that we just did. So what we're going to do, we have to measure, is we're going to come from warrior one with the heel up, reach forward so you can reach for your chair. Okay, shift all the weight into the right leg. You may have to slide the chair, and then we're going to come up into a supported warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. Okay, and then come back down and set the feet together. Okay, so let's do it. I don't know if you've been doing it, but let's do it again. Right leg forward, left leg back. Warrior one. Shift the weight forward, step the left toes in, bring the hands onto the chair, and then slide the chair forward a little bit so you're resting your wrists. Now watch the hips, much harder in the middle of the room. Just press that left toes down towards the floor, open the chest, and then come back through warrior one, and then bring the feet together. Okay, let's do the other side. So the right leg will come back. Bring my chair forward a little bit. Vira one. Open the chest. Lean forward. Step the right toes forward. Put the hands on the chair. And then slide. Now energize your left leg. Drop your right outer hip down. Open the chest. Keep the left leg straight. Right leg straight as if you're pushing into a wall. And then bend the knee, come down through warrior one, and set the feet together. And stand in Tadasana for a moment. Just feeling the contact of the feet on the ground. Close the eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Feeling this strong connection with the earth. Notice if your mind feels a little more stable, more calm, maybe a few less thoughts flying about. That's what balancing poses do. They make us focus on what's happening right now. Because if our mind wanders even for a second, we're going to fall. So it's forcing the mind to come back to what's happening right now in the body. Okay, so we're going to do one more warrior one, a warrior three variation. If you want to challenge yourself, you can do it without anything. So we can work on warrior one to warrior three. Arms can be here, or arms, it's a hard pose, straight out in front, or arms can be at the heart or by the side. That's a little bit easier. Coming back, and set the feet together, or take one of the other variations. Okay, one more on each side. So right leg forward, left leg back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, come forward. You can either bring your hands to the center of the chest to make it a little bit easier to come down. If you have back issues, don't stretch your arms out in front because that creates a little bit too much tension for the low back. Might help to reach the arms back a bit and then come back through warrior one And release. Other side, left leg forward, right leg back. Take the arms up. Bring the hands to the heart or keep your arms overhead. Shift the weight forward and then straighten the left leg. To really ground the left leg for the balance. Use your leg muscles. Roll the right hip down. Open the chest. And then bend the knee. Shift the weight back. Up. And step the feet together. Okay. Prasarita Padottanasana. So we're going to step the legs out. If you have 2 blocks, here's a good place to have your 2 blocks or the chair as well. Use your chair. Legs are going to be wider than they were before for triangle. So a nice wide stance. Toes a little bit turned in, but no collapsing on the feet. So keep your outer heels pressing down into the ground, hands on the waist. Roll the shoulders open. Just hold here. Feel the feet pressing down into the ground. Feel the lift to the crown of the head. And then lengthening the spine. Come forward. Your hands can come on the blocks or the chair. Now you can have your hands up higher on the chair. Roll the shoulders back and take the heart forward. And pause here. If this is too high or you don't feel any opening in the back of the legs, you can come down a little bit lower. You can also come down a little bit lower, or you can have your fingers on the ground. Open the chest though. The most important thing is that the spine is open, not how low you go. Hold here. Slow the breathing down. And then walk your hands back. If that feels okay, we'll bring the fingers behind an imaginary line. You're going to draw from one toe to the other toe. And then bend the elbows and come down. You might want to open the legs a little bit more. Let the head hang. If you have a blanket or a block available, you can place your head on top of the block. Not everyone will get here. Not everyone will have their head supported, and that's okay. You want to try to just get your hands on the ground, squeeze the elbows towards each other, bring the head down, shift some weight forward into the balls of the feet, squeeze the elbows together, shoulder blades back, and rest the crown of the head on the block. If you have a little weight on the crown of the head, it's very relaxing for the mind, the brain, the nervous system. So hold here. And then come up slowly. Lengthen the spine, heel toe the feet in. Hands on the waist, come up with a straight back. Good. Let's use a strap. We're going to take our strap. And if you have the ability to loop your strap, you can make the strap as wide as your shoulders. If not, that's okay. You can just hold a belt or a strap or a scarf, whatever you have at home. Legs wide, toes turn in. Take the hands behind the back. I'm going to open the shoulders here. Legs are strong. Okay. Reach down through the fingertips, pull the strap apart, and then calm down slowly, slowly, slowly. Open the chest. Start to roll the shoulders open. Don't worry about going very low with the hands, but keep the shoulders, upper arm bones rolling back. And then come down, relax the head and take the arms overhead. And push out into the strap. Watch that your legs are strong. You're not collapsing here. You want to keep your legs strong. Resist the strap, pull the strap apart. And then with strong arms, come up slowly, turn the heels in, step the feet together. Okay, let's come down onto the back. The legs worked really hard today. So let's stretch out the legs a little bit. We're gonna cross the right leg over the left. So we're stacking the knees. This is Gomukhasana legs, or eagle pose. Sorry, not eagle, cow face pose. So one knee over the other. Bring your knees in towards your chest. That's the first step, right? If that's easy, then reach for your ankles and pull the ankles apart. Close the eyes. And just take a few deep breaths into the outer hip here, the right outer hip. You want to hold here for at least a minute. We can really get into the tissue and the fascia. It's a nice opening around the outer hip area. And then we'll switch legs. Take the left leg, cross it over the right. Stack the knees as best you can. Take the hands, interlace them around the knee, and bring the knees to the chest. Step one. Okay, step two, reach for the ankles. Pull the ankles apart, bring the thighs in towards the chest. Take a few deep breaths. And then release that. Hug both knees in towards the chest. You can rock a little bit side to side. And then let's hug the right knee in. Push out through the left foot. So really energize your left foot. Now bring that right knee across the body. Final twist. But in this variation, I want you to really engage that left leg. So push out through the left heel. Reach through the fingertips. Keep your knee down as close to the ground as you can. And as you exhale, rotate the ribcage back towards the floor. So it's okay if your shoulder comes up off the ground. We're opening the chest and the thoracic spine. Inhale and exhale. If it hurts at all in the low back or the sacroiliac, then rest your front leg on a block or a pillow or something so that you can't go very low. That will protect your sacroiliac. Good. Let's come up. Second side. Left knee in towards the chest. Push out through the right heel. Bring this left leg across. Reach through the fingertips. Push out through the right heel. Inhale. You can see that my shoulder's coming off the ground, and that's good because I want to get some nice opening through the pecs on the left side. I also want to increase some rotation in my thoracic spine. Lift the belly. Good. And come back. Hug the knees in one more time. And then let's take the right ankle. We'll cross it over the left knee, reach behind the left thigh for pigeon. Pull the left thigh in, and with your right elbow, you're going to push the right thigh bone away from your head. So push the right thigh bone away from the head, pull the left thigh in at the same time. You can visualize this deep piriformis muscle, deep in the buttocks, and this is the muscle that crosses over the sciatic nerve. So we really want to release pressure on the sciatic nerve, and you can visualize that as you exhale, releasing the deep hip flexors or hip external rotators. And then switch legs. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. Pull the right thigh in, push the left thigh away. And again, go inward, kind of imagine this deep muscle, this deep band of a muscle on the inner thigh or the buttocks, crossing over the sciatic nerve. And here we're taking the pressure off that nerve. As you pull the right thigh in, push the left thigh away. And then we'll release that. Let's come into Shavasana. If you have a chair, I recommend doing Shavasana with the legs on the chair, especially after we work the legs and the back so much today. Get some stronger poses. So it's nice to have the legs supported on the chair. Also have something under your head for support if you need it. So we don't want the head and neck going back. We want your head to feel nice and relaxed. So it should be a nice natural curve in your neck. Roll the shoulders underneath, palms facing up. Feel the contact of the back of the shins or the calf on the chair. And then just release the weight of the world into the ground. Just feel the support of the earth. Letting go. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Keep the lips together, but there can be a little bit of space between the teeth. Soften the forehead. Slow the breath down. Very slowly, just come back to the breath. And we'll bend the knees one at a time. Roll over onto your right side. You can rest your head on your arm. Stay there for a moment. And then let your head be the last thing to come up as you sit up. The head is the last thing to come up. Don't be in a rush. You can sit up here on your block, on your blanket. We're going to take 2 minutes of meditation. And our focus today will be on just noticing the breath. Have your hands palm face down on your thighs. It's also a very nice position for grounding. If you feel a little bit sluggish or tired or depressed, then take the palms up. But if you feel like grounding is what you need, have the palms down. And then close the eyes. And every time you inhale, you can say in your mind, inhale. And exhaling, you can say in your mind, exhale. So for every breath, we'll just notice the inhale and the exhale for the next 2 minutes. And anytime your mind wanders, which it will do, you'll come back to the breath. Okay, so let's go. It's normal for the mind to wander, so don't worry if it does. Just redirect it, bring it back to the breath. As thoughts come up, as ideas come up, as you feel like you want to turn off your video right now, you've had enough, just notice all of those things and come back to the breath. Let's take a few more breaths here. Hands come to the heart. And we'll close today with one soft Om. Thank you. Have a great day.